Hey everybody, welcome back to another round. We had a little bit of an audio mix up in the beginning, but didn't miss much. We just talked a little bit about the Taylor Small Batch Bourbon, which we got to enjoy. We have Chris and Frank from Crust, and we're just going to cut right into the round. Here's a quick message, though. Today's sponsor. All right. I did ask Wes before you came in here.
Okay. Yep.
What can be talked about a little bit about expansion? I'm hoping to get a little more about what I'm hoping to get a little something, but Utica,
A deep breath you just took.
possible Utica branch here.
Utica will be the next place.
Okay, that's the way it's gonna work. Okay,
that's
gotcha.
a definite.
Okay, okay. Any locations that could be, maybe not specifics, but areas even like where you
Downtown Utica.
downtown.
Yeah.
What classifies downtown Utica? Help me.
What do you describe?
What do you
Hospital range?
It's
I'd
down.
say like Hospital Nexus.
Nexus, Genesee,
Yeah.
the North End Genesee.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking heart of the business. Any you got a couple leads possibly? Well,
Let's just say we've been in a lot of basements in downtown Utica.
is it scary?
There's a
Yeah.
whole.
So far, I've only
Underground
found one
there,
that I
yeah.
was okay with.
what oh, maybe time for, I'm trying to walk the line here, Wes. I'm trying to walk the line here. What
I
maybe
mean, you're kind of giving on that you know more.
well, we always know more
I
what's
know.
going on in the community. We just got to figure out what we can and cannot talk about.
What's for public consumption?
I know.
Yes.
We did this with Lanny last podcast. He was like, "Hey, we've talked about this a lot. Can you just say what we can say?" Like, it's just part of it. But timeline of or goals of trying to get something up and running in there.
Timeline is like as soon as possible.
Okay, so this is like
We've
top
been working on
priority,
this.
trying to get
Yeah.
something in Utica. Is it going to be like a 2.0, or is there going to be some variable options, or what kind of vibe are you hoping? I know every market's a little different, but you got a great vibe already in
Right.
Rome. So do you replicate that, or do you do
To an extent.
similar?
To an extent. I mean,
Can I get the
thinking of-
negotiator at the Utica store?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Is the menu the same
Similar. It would be
in theory?
hypothetically.
Hypothetically,
guess-
Hypothetically.
I mean, we're not holding you to
Yeah,
this.
we're definitely. I mean, no one's gonna. I mean, it'd be
We
like,
just want to get a sense of what the heck
would
you're
be
thinking. What are you
crust.
dreaming up? It would be crust.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might see some variations of menu.
Our problem where we are now, there's tons of stuff we'd love to do, but we're so small across the street that we don't have space in our kitchen for like a grill, a flat top.
oh, I see.
Things we could do other fun stuff
So
with.
you would want to do more in Rome, but you just
We
don't
don't
have
have
the
space.
space and
Right.
capacity.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So we
That's
have
a fun
to get,
fact.
We
That
have
is
to
a
get
fun fact.
creative.
Yeah.
Has there been thought? I mean, I know it's tough to move because you got like startup costs. Have you thought about moving in Rome at all, or to open up those options, or
No,
no?
we
I'm
spent a lot of money on
Yeah.
A
our
place
current
that we
space.
don't own.
Feel a bit pot committed to that, but your location's great. Obviously, the
I mean,
park
you can't
employees
beat
have
it.
been
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
You get all those apartments right there above you.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's really a good portion of your success. I mean, and the fact that you want to expand means you're doing well, I would assume. Usually you don't try to replicate something that's a stinker,
No.
right? So that's good. So congratulations on that.
No, it's been
I always kind of refer it to like we jumped off the building and the parachute opened.
Yeah. That's a good way to
You
put
know,
it.
it's
That's
like, that's kind of how it is.
Yeah, because you created it, what, during COVID or right before COVID, and then you kind of had to take that leap of faith, right? Is that how it all
Yeah.
kind of went down?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, thinking back, it's like
Our crowning moment really was signing our paperwork on my garbage can in my garage.
Yeah.
Were
And we were like, "Oh, this is it. No coming back."
it
hope
was,
that wasn't symbolic of anything, no?
Thankfully not.
So- You have, I mean, probably one of the best bourbon selections. At least it might be up there with like Al's whiskey. Oh shoot, what's the name in Syracuse?
Awful, or it's not
Al's whiskey bar or Al's
Yeah, they
something like
changed
that.
it. It used to
Anyway,
be- yeah.
for your size and what you offer, you have probably one of the best bourbon whiskey selections, and for a price that you really can't get anywhere else. I can't like, if anybody's listening to this and you like whiskey, like go to Crust, because you'll be blown away by the pricing and the selection. So I think that's what I love your sandwiches too, but I think this is one of those things where it's nice to go to just to grab a drink after work and have something that's legit, and you don't have to pay $90 an ounce for something.
Especially during pappy time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always been like my biggest thing was bourbon wasn't we weren't ever going to be a bourbon bar. We can thank Lori Frieden for that. She gave some interview when we opened, or that when we were opening, that she was the real estate agent in charge of all the commercial at the time when they first opened. And then she did some like press release or something, and she basically said, I can't tell you who they are, but there's two local guys. They're opening a restaurant. It's going to have soup, salad, sandwiches, and a bourbon bar. So we saw like all the feedback from like the post.
There was more people
Yeah.
excited about the bourbon bar than what we were serving as far as food.
I get it, because I mean there really
It's a strong
isn't
play.
there isn't a Rome place, and help me if I'm missing somebody, because I we all need the food. We competition is good, and because there isn't a whole lot in the area, but there isn't a place where you can grab a 5 o'clock whiskey somewhere and have a good selection. I mean, and I think that's I mean, we've talked about that. It's like, it's too bad there isn't more places like that, especially when you have these people that are just jumping on 49 and get out of here. Hey, I think that's why you talked about your space. You could get away with almost being 2 times bigger and be full.
Yeah. Just parking.
Yeah, well, there's the. Well, as long as they change lava rocks for more rocks, but we can talk about that later.
Bigger rocks.
Bigger rocks, walkable rocks.
Walkable.
So, do you see you're almost in the day to day though at Crust, right? You guys.
I was just
both
going to
are-
ask that. Like,
yeah.
I want to know, like, are you guys in the kitchen a lot, or where do you spend your time?
I mean,
there?
he's
So
basically-
Frank is in the kitchen.
I was-
Frank is the mastermind behind most of the food we put out.
Are you getting a lot of your stuff local, or is like
No.
no? I mean, it's just isn't.
We get as much as we can from furloughs. But our bread, which we still don't tell people where we get it.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Asshole.
They just don't. Furloughs doesn't create the right, or they don't make the right type of bread for us. Like they said they had tried making ciabatta and they weren't really selling it.
Right, because they don't want to switch their model. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't make sense unless there's the volume or you
Yeah.
guys work it out. Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense.
So when we first started looking for bread, it took us a really long time. It was probably more expensive than any business restaurant would be like, oh yeah, we should create a restaurant around this bread.
Right.
A lot of what we do is like kind of winging it.
I mean, is there any other way?
I mean,
There's
not any other fun way.
We just do what feels right, what sounds good,
But I think there's a you can wing it, but then you're still careful on the long term play, right? I mean, there's the fun of experimenting and stuff like that. But when you actually pull the trigger, it's not like you're or are you?
No, we're still
Well,
winging it.
No,
Well-
we're still winging it.
No, I mean,
Stop giving him so much credit.
So
Brad.
how do you like? You're in the kitchen all the time. Like, how does it? Do you have to be in the kitchen, or is there like a play to where you're going to be like, hey, time for us to move up a notch?
We've
to like, because when Utica comes online, right, that's going to be an interesting play.
we've been planning that. We have the right people in place, and I mean, for the most part, as far as being in the kitchen, it's quality control or coming up with new stuff, R&D, if you will. But yeah, we've situated ourselves so when the time comes, we do not have to be there day to day per se.
And I feel like a
That
small
rhymed.
vibe like
Nice
that.
touch. That was
A
great.
small vibe like that, it's like it is you guys too. And I've talked to Wes and I have talked about this a little bit. Like when you go to RCC and you see Wes at the bar, it's part of the experience. Like, and obviously seeing you guys there, we chit chat and you chat with, you see all kinds of politicians and business owners in there that go. And I think that's where it is hard to replicate. And luckily you have an amazing product, so you can do that. But it is an ownership vibe and the family feel that does play. And I'm just curious of like, does that ever come into play with how many things you take on, or are you hoping to move yourself up? Because it is day to day is a grind, and you have so many other things
Yeah.
that's on the mind that you really want to accomplish.
so I tell my wife gets kind of mad at me when I say that my job is to like make relationships and talk to people, and that like he's the one that's in charge of food and coming up
Sure.
with stuff
Yeah.
and making sure the quality is there and all that. I only really jump in the kitchen when I'm bored and want to have some fun. But I view my job as like the relationship builder. And
It's a good yin and we've been saying this since
Mhm.
we started all this, but it's a good yin and yang. Like I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I'm comfortable with what he's doing, and just the things I don't excel at, he does. Like he's really good at knowing everybody and having great relationships, and the business has aspects. And
Duplication is great, but at the same time, you'd rather find the skill sets you don't have, find somebody and that's what creates a
Yeah.
good business partner in a sense,
100%.
and
Yeah.
knowing that. And
But it makes sense. I mean, your father was probably the best of all time at that. And I think 99% of the people who went to the Savoy, and granted the food was lovely and everything, but it was your dad would sit down with every table, I felt like, every night. And in a very genuine way, not like I'm making the rounds, like I'm running
Yeah.
for office, but in a very genuine way, knew everything about you. It was really part of the experience. So I'm not shocked that that you're great at it too.
yeah, I mean, it is. It's good. I mean, it's the part of the business that I like I really like. Um, I also kind of do really like the numbers and
Mhm.
Frank when I have to talk to him and say, "Hey, keep your we have to keep our food buying under like this amount." Um, there's checks and balances. So, I mean, we work well together.
plus, every time I'm doing something, I'll get a surprise Excel sheet from Chris to help me.
So Frank is in charge of
He's the Excel wizard.
of giving our accountants our labor reports, and he was doing like all these.
We don't have to go into detail about
He
this.
was doing all
silly
this
things
stuff.
oh no,
always
we
do.
need to go into detail. Keep going.
He was doing all this stuff with like employee tips and everything, and I'm like, here, just use this Excel sheet. I color coordinate everything. I gave him a key. I said,
It was
yellow is where you put the number in.
He really
Gray-
wrote it like I was a baby, but I was pretty
Gray
He has
funny.
is
zero faith in
things
your
you don't
skills.
touch, and just input the info and send it to her.
The best part was the name, Frank's handy dandy calculator.
Have you ever thought about, because you really are special. I've noticed you in other aspects. We go through. We've talked food and beverage here and there. Would you ever offer like a service to help in that side? Because you seem like really in tune to how to make a food and beverage spot work. And I feel like that's something you don't have to be present for. I was just curious, have you ever thought about bringing that skill set to like help other families or areas to do
Well,
that?
you're doing it for a golf club, right?
I try not to use. Oh man, I haven't had
You
enough
saw
whiskey.
where he was going with that.
I
before
haven't,
I
I
did.
haven't
Yeah.
had enough whiskey.
I'm gonna pour myself another drink.
Delicious, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that.
this is like we're gonna have to pull out quarters instead of half times at this
Mhm.
rate. Oh yeah, there's the sound we go for.
Yeah, might as well.
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, you can dump some in there. It's fine. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll take a few cubes if you don't mind. Yeah, let's do it. Thank you.
I'm good for right now, thank you.
Are we
Yeah.
going to strike that from the
So
podcast?
I may have
or are you
opened my
going-
mouth.
Yeah, so
In an
we were just talking about Chris's expertise in running the back end of food and beverage and running the numbers, and I'm trying to tread lightly here. I don't want to get into too many details.
I'm
but
assisting.
okay. You have.
I'm officially assisting.
How come you said no to me originally? I mean, I needed you,
You take
and
large
you were
offense
not
to this?
there. I was drowning, and there was a life ring right there, and you didn't want to throw it. But I get it. You were busy.
At that point, I was on the whiteboard still.
Oh, true. That's fair. That's fair. People
So,
are going to slowly read between the lines here. But we're not going to come out with it. But I mean, seriously though, I feel like when you have a skill like that, it's like it's something that you can create community. It's whatever, and you're good at it. And I don't know if that's just
Well,
something you ever thought about.
thank you for saying I'm good at it. At this point, I think I'm still.
Opening a restaurant in COVID and being successful and showing that it can be, I think is is props to you guys to pulling something off like that. I don't think that was not an easy feat because you guys opened what in 2020, right?
2021.
2021. I mean, in the thick of it.
We never had our dining room shut down. We did go through a round of you have to wear masks inside the restaurant. It was the logic there to me is like
was a bit of a
so
struggle.
We can go political.
You can walk in. It's not political. This is strictly logic.
Mhm.
You can walk in, sit at a table, take your mask off, and you're okay. But if you stand up, you have to put it on. Like
Yeah, we're only existed like 5.5 feet in the air.
yeah,
So you gotta remember that.
it is what it is. But
so on the other boards, I mean, you're very active in the community, and I'm gonna go to Frank in a little bit. But you're on Oneida County Tourism?
County
What's going on
Tourism.
there? What's the deal? What's happening? Sarah's back.
Sarah's back from maternity leave.
Yeah.
Thank God. Not that it wasn't working well without her, but
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
Yeah, it's like you still have to have that point person to have those relationships as you do in your place and we do in our place. So it does take that personality to do it.
she'd be a good person for the podcast.
We've had her on,
Mm-hmm.
and she uses a rangefinder.
Yeah, she uses a laser and she plays golf, so
Which means she's really good if she uses a rangefinder, and she actually is a good golfer.
I know. I tried to get her.
We can have her.
I tried to get her to be on my foursome for the Negotiator Open, but
Oh yeah, talk about that. How did that come about? Because that's on its second or third year.
Third, yeah.
And what's the Negotiator Open?
An excuse for us to take the day off and play golf
I mean, there's a benefit.
It's an excuse for you to take the day off and play golf.
while raising money for
There it
a
is.
charitable organization. We have had the Kelberman Center be the beneficiary of it for the last 3 years. Honestly, because they do such a good job of running the tournament, we haven't really opened it up to anybody else yet. It's really just kind of like sign the check and we'll take care of everything else. But it's been great.
I mean, you
It's
guys
a
have
lot
been
of fun.
packed. I mean, it's a full event, right? I mean, it's you guys.
So much fun.
And where's this event held?
It's Rome Country
Oh,
Club.
okay, there.
what
it
a
is.
fine
That's
location.
a fine location.
Heck of a choice.
He lets us get away with a lot.
Yeah,
Oh, is that why your insurance is so high?
pretty much. Yeah,
Like,
that's why things
there's-
are on fire all the time. At Rome
There's a
Country Club.
lot of alcohol that gets consumed at this golf tournament. Tito's is one of the sponsors.
Mhm.
I mean, solid.
Yeah. I think last year we had 8 or 9 hospitality tents.
Mhm.
You were gonna say hospital visits. I
No.
I missed last year
too.
because I had COVID.
Yeah,
Well, you
Frank.
probably put your mask on when you were walking around the restaurant. That's what
I
it
wasn't
was.
there either.
Frank had COVID for the 5th time.
Is it really? How you doing over there?
Can't even say anything. Yes, it was the 5th time I've ever had it. I'm good.
Frank likes to spend his vacation time having COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. You know,
That's
it's
a
nice,
bold
It's a nice
strategy. I don't know if I can get it.
staycation. I get to nap.
So since I was gonna bring Frank in, since you missed out on the last one, I'm very sorry. We knew the background of a little bit of how Crust came about, but how did you get into food and beverage? Like, where did you start? Like, how's
Oh my
your
gosh.
journey of getting where you're
I
at
will
today?
shorten it, but so apparently me and him were meant to be together because I started at the beaches when I was 15 as a dishwasher, and basically worked my way up. Did every job there until I was bartending. Then I went to college. After switching my major a few times from like automotive tech to graphic design to ended up in hospitality. So I got
That's one way of getting there.
yeah, it was weird, but
So
I
if
guess
my car
it
breaks
was
down in Crust, I know who to find now.
no. It was like one semester. I was
Oh,
terrible.
okay. He was a quick.
That was
it was a quick
terrible.
guess. This is not for me.
Okay, so you were literally searching. I mean, it's not
I
like
was,
you
I
grew
was
up with
looking for
cars
stuff,
or-
but I've always loved to cook, and I was already good at the hospitality business, so I decided to just send it. And then, granted, his uncles were trying to talk me out of it the whole time.
it seems to be what family does in our industry.
So
They're like, "Don't do that. Become an architect.
people in
What's
the
wrong with
restaurant
you?"
business, I find, will tell you that you should not be in the restaurant business.
Mhm.
More than any other profession will tell you.
I've heard it once or
To
twice.
avoid it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I agree with that.
I mean, I guess it depends on your experience to an extent too. But
Why is that? So is it just because Is it because of saturation? Is it because of margins? Is it because of
I think
I think it's
all of the above.
it's lifestyle.
It is all
Yeah.
that?
It's lifestyle too.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I mean, Frank and I are in a position with Crust where when we opened from the start, we were like, we're closed on Sundays. We're not doing anything special for holidays. Like, we're not the place that you're going to go for Mother's Day.
Right.
We spent our whole life
Yeah.
working every holiday.
We
and
never
That's a
had
good point.
holidays
Yeah,
off.
the Savoy and Beaches. I mean, both were. You always had
Oh,
something
God.
going on.
I used to do 7.
Oh,
I ended up as general manager at the beaches, but I used to do anywhere from 700 to 1,200 people on holidays, every single holiday. Spend it with my beaches family at the time.
Sure. No, I get it. Yeah.
Years and years.
And that's the one thing. It's funny because when you said your beaches family, when we hire people now, I kind of try to figure out, like, are they gonna fit with the people that we have? Like, are they gonna be like a good teammate? Are they gonna be helpful, or are they gonna cause problems? Because the people we work with are some of the best people we've ever worked with, and it's just they all get along, and I like fiercely defend that when I hire people, because
That's fair. So putting a little bit more scrutiny on the overall vibe of working than, because I know like a lot of them like, hey, we can barely find waiters, we'll hire everybody, but that's also creating a very imbalanced, could be creating a very imbalanced butting of heads and different. So you're saying that the extra time on the personality and just finding someone that just vibes well, you're creating a family. You are
Yeah.
creating an internal family there.
I mean,
Okay.
we spend as much time with Crust as we do at home.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
admit it's probably been a lot better the last couple of years or last year or so, because we hired a manager and we like get to go home at night and not sit there and lock the door, which my uncles find absolutely crazy. They're like, "What do you mean you don't work on Saturday?" I'm like, well, we have a manager. He works Saturday. We create the lifestyle that we want.
I think that's the biggest difference as far as like people trying to talk people out of the restaurant business. Right now, this is the best experience I've ever had doing what we're doing, because obviously we're getting to do what we want and the things we want and be creative, but we've also identified things that we didn't like and we do like, and we just made it happen, and luckily.
Yeah.
Could have gone a different
When
way.
you're
but-
the one making all the decisions, bourbon's kicking in, I think. When you're the one making all the decisions, and you don't have to answer to anybody, you can really do whatever you want as long as it works.
And I think that's the key, is like there are advantages for working for yourself, but you have to know what you don't know, like in a way. You do have to create the team, and you have to bust your ass, and you probably know your employees, you're around your employees more than you are your family. But if you do that correctly, it doesn't have to be like that the whole time. And that's it. It's
I told my wife when we first started this, I'm like, listen, this is going to be really bad. My life is going to be really bad for a little while, but it's going to get better.
Mhm.
Like, I promise it'll get better. And it has.
bust your ass now, and
Well, couldn't get worse probably. So
No.
you had that going for you.
I mean, I think I don't know how many hours a week we were working when we first opened. There was we opened during COVID, and there was the first 2 weeks that we were open, we had, I think, one employee between the two of us that didn't have COVID, and
There's days it was me and him.
he was in the kitchen.
He was
I was
running the
out front,
and that was it. And
and
were
we had
just
one person in between us running back and forth.
moving
Because at
as
that
fast as
point,
possible.
It's like it was weird. It first opened, like you can't not have.
You have to have a good first impression.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a novelty of you being open for the first time. So
Yeah.
everyone wants to come. The demand's through the roof, and you don't want to disappoint anyone. So you're
Absolutely.
just trying to survive.
There was a lot of unshaved faces and dark eyes, and
There was a picture. It popped up on my
The one with the
Facebook memories.
with the empty bags of bread.
The empty bags of
You look
bread.
like crap in that.
I did.
You
I had
literally-
it
you
was
gotta look
probably
up.
the biggest beard I've ever had. it was like out to here.
Your face is sunken in. He's
And
just like,
you could just see how tired I was. Like I remember how tired I was.
So since we've done a first pass and we've already recapped a couple things on Crust, let's get a little political because I'm curious from you. Tips not being taxed, does that how is people are saying AI is telling me it could be messy, there's things, but I'm curious from a restaurant owner perspective. Finding good talent is tough. You got minimum wage at $15.50 right now. I know you do a very good job hiring your people, but how do you view that as an owner of a restaurant where tips are important to supplement the employees?
I think every good server, bartender, any good tipped employee will tell you that the tips are how they make their money. If there's anyone saying that they want to hire minimum wage for a tippable employee, they're probably not that good.
And that's kind of the irony of it. The minimum wage keeps going up, but to these servers and bartenders, that's the least of their concern. As if they're in a good
They
restaurant,
could care less.
most of them,
it's all the tip money.
So what
they
is this-
forget
what
to
is
get their
this-
paychecks. so
Right.
Put it that
It's
way.
not,
you know, like-
exactly. Yeah. So
what is a split? So like if you look at at the end of the year salary versus tips, like what might an employee land, serving employee, not
Right.
not a kitchen staff, but like customer facing employee, like what percentage is salary, what percentage is on the tip side?
where are your spreadsheets when you need them?
All right, stats man.
I'm gonna go
Let's-
72.
Can I get a
Let's-
computer
I
to
need
get my
can I-
Google
I
Docs
need
real
my
quick?
laptop.
You don't have it on Google Docs? Come on, man.
7228.
Well, Is there a spreadsheet for this, Frank? Does he have one?
I
I
can
don't know,
tell
let me
you
check.
without getting specific, because I don't know specific
a
off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I can tell you that we have a few bartenders that more times than not make more money than Frank and I do
Mhm.
because of their tips.
Mhm.
So the tips are definitely a big part of their income,
And that's
and they deserve every ounce of it because one, if they didn't, they wouldn't be getting it.
right. So how are tips taxed? Like what is like how I'm not in the restaurant business, so I have no idea how they're handled. But are they basically like a 1099 where you gotta pay tax? Well, obviously, if you reported all of your tip income, let's start there.
All right, now I feel
yeah.
like we're going into a place that the IRS is not going to like.
Well,
I
let's
mean, when
be-
you do payroll, there's a spot for
So,
declared tips that you put
You're-
in.
So when our
Yeah.
our bartenders punch out at night,
yeah.
they declare
Yeah.
how many cash tips they got.
Yeah.
Their credit card tips are
Auto.
Automatically.
And that's what 25%. Like if you somebody was to, like I said, depends on your financial background.
What
But
do you think actually is an average tip? This is a good question, I feel like.
I think now
What do people really tip?
right now I think 18 to 20%
Is a standard?
is a standard tip for full service.
okay, thank you. I was gonna go there
Yeah.
next, and because I think it's getting a little
Tipping's
crazy.
getting a little out of control.
Because so
Yeah.
like when I order at Bowl Boss like a smoothie, because I usually do it from my way home from Utica, there's an auto line item that puts in, I think it's 15% on my online smoothie order. That will
Just to
be
pick it up.
just to pick it up. Like I'm walking in, I'm grabbing it, I'm walking back out. I usually do so. I move it down to like 10, but I feel like that was never even a thought. Not that many years ago.
Well, that all started during COVID.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, but if I'm, it's like, at what point is? Because I like to think I'm a little more generous. Like I know they got to work their ass off and stuff like that. But it's like, man, like are they on the backside? It's like, man, this guy moved it down to 10%. Like,
We're
like,
spitting in this one.
We're spitting in this one. No, but like what point is that? If I call in an order for you guys, how do you? Like,
yeah, your
how,
takeout's a good percentage of your business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
About 50-50.
Our
50-50.
food-
What is the tip?
food to alcohol
Still there?
is 80-20. Takeout to dine in is 50-50.
Oh wow,
It's almost exactly 50-50.
is that can't be normal?
I don't think so.
No, not,
No. But
not
a lot of
for-
restaurants want that now. Like Applebee's
Well,
wants
yeah,
to
I mean,
be
yeah.
listen,
Because you're
all
paying
takeout.
your cook.
We had
Just
said
less
like
labor.
we
There's
have
less servers you
36
gotta hire.
seats.
Yeah.
So you can't have the last couple of years that we've had with 36
seats.
seats and
and do the
that
volume.
volume.
do the volume.
Yeah.
Can't.
So that was kind of part of the way we created things. We wanted to be on the top end of convenience for people to be able to order and pick up and get delivery and whatever. We went as high tech as we as high tech as we could. I thought somebody was gonna fall through the ceiling.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. It's just an office gremlin.
So is that why you committed so much? Because you do have a dedicated takeout. So you see
Yeah.
the bar being.
Well,
Well, that's kind of an advantage of being born in the
being
COVID
born
or
during
post
COVID,
COVID.
you're
era.
like-
So that was a pivot, maybe.
If you started
No.
in 18, you wouldn't have probably thought of that. Right?
Yeah.
Well, we actually made that specific decision too because we had no idea if we were going to get shut down to just take out again or what was going to happen.
Oh, okay.
So we kind of had a background thought of, well, we have basically identical stations inside and up front, so they can quickly put out the food. But if need be, you can always direct both of them to the front, and then you can put out double the amount of food in case that ever happens.
Oh, so all the stuff that's being made on takeout, that's replicable. that's replicated in the back house.
Yep.
Oh,
Same,
so
yeah.
that's like a whole other team handling the 50%.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So we have 4 people so we have a morning shift and a night shift. We have 4 people, 2 work the front shift, 2 work the back shift. The idea is that if one of the stations is getting hit really hard, the other station can kind of supplement and make some of their orders and knock it out. It's hard because we get a lot of online orders, and we'd love for people to put an online order in before they come in the door, because when they don't, they wait a little longer.
So where are they going? So if someone comes in, are they going to whatever line?
They're going to take out.
They're going to take out line.
Yeah,
So,
and
okay,
they're
gotcha.
putting an order in, and they'll sit there and they'll wait, and they might be the only one there, but they don't realize, like, hey, there's like 15 orders in front of them.
We have a 20-minute drag time when it's busy, so it's like if you walk in and there's only a couple people there and you're waiting for 20 minutes, it seems like a lot longer than 20 minutes. But again,
Yeah.
because they've got full screens and people are just in and out picking up bags.
So if could this be a hack? So I'm a very good guy. One of my favorite salads. I usually like to add fried chicken. I noticed in the cooler you have pre-made very goods, but without the chicken.
Yeah.
Can I get chicken added quickly, or is that still thrown into?
Like if you walk in and you want like a salad with fried chicken on it, we can knock that out.
That's quick.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
If somebody, that's the whole kind of with like
I'm on board.
with the deli, the deli area. There's we have like the coleslaw and the pasta salad and things like that in case somebody does want to come in and grab something super quick.
So do you have?
as far
do you
as-
actually like? Would there be like a quick menu? Like if you need to get in and out? Because actually, I've been asked that twice by guests or by one a consultant that was here, and then one that I had a meeting that came from Utica. Hey, do you know anywhere I can grab food quickly? And I told him to go. Actually, I told him to go get the very good salad, but I didn't know if he could throw on chicken. But I think maybe a quick menu might be here's a hack. I don't know.
A 5-item speed menu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that just comes down to like.
So if I didn't
what
know
else is in the
that,
queue,
I would have never known. And there are times where, shoot, where do I go? Because I've really been trying to avoid like Burger King, McDonald's, and it's just so easy to get it, and I'm gonna eat it on the way to Utica or something. But it'd be sweet to be like, oh, I'm gonna pop in here. Here are my 5 quick items that I can grab because I gotta go. Because I think that I only know that because I've been in your place. I don't know, maybe 150 times, but maybe more. But what do you think?
All right, Frank hates your idea. Just tell him.
I
you hate
know
it.
it's okay.
My-
I've been shot down a lot.
I will
Okay.
I will say our people are really good at, like, if somebody comes in and just orders like one sandwich or a negotiator or something, they're really good at either trying to jump it ahead
Just
and get
fit it
somebody
in
out
there.
because they're there,
Gotcha.
or they'll just take one from another order they're making and remake that one because they got a few minutes.
Gotcha.
In general, I don't think it's actually really that big of a deal.
Okay. Where you at, Wesley? I'm struggling.
I'm just enjoying listening to you.
I know. I think this is like the quietest you've been on a podcast.
That's
Listen,
what
by
I'm-
the way,
I
I
can't get
watch
a
all
fucking
of your
word in with Brad
podcasts.
over here.
Huh?
I watch all of the podcasts.
I appreciate that.
Like, I look forward to them when they come out. And I'm still kind of wondering. I thought we had this whole thing where we were going to be the sponsor of the halftime.
I have a team now. Well, we got a we'll do that. Emily, we'll work on a couple plugs and some commercials here, and we can work with C&D too to get something in there. Well, we did this. We launched this maybe 3 years ago. We started soft,
right.
and we I don't know. We kind of die down in the summertime, which he's working his ass off. We got a lot of jobs.
Busy in
He's a
the
little
summer.
busy. But and every year we're like, do you want to do it? And then we'll come across people at like business after hours and like in the community, like, oh, when are you gonna post another video? Like, shoot, it's like which is great.
We'll get around to
it's
that.
good, but it does take a lot of work to do these. And
I saw you running around while you were setting up.
Puffing and puffing.
So we are to make it easier and so we can produce more. We're actually teaming up with Bill Madison and Stephen Turnbull and a couple guys in Utica that have a podcast as well. And we're trying to create a almost like a podcast studio offering. So if people also want to record, and that way we have editors and they have editors. So I don't have to, because I do everything from setting up the cameras, the questions, editing, and then posting. But like we're trying to create a background because we've had some people that want to come in here and use the studio because it is kind of we have great gear and people want to do this. So it started off as maybe we should do this, and then now it's turning into all right, maybe there's a business here okay, when are we gonna figure out how to get guests on? Because we are there's a couple of musicians we're gonna get on. We have a couple other business owners that were in the subspace that we're gonna have on. So it's just kind of on its own. It's just kind of we were like, do we keep doing it? And they're like, yep, I guess we keep doing it. Which is a great problem to have.
I mean, it's fun to watch. It's fun getting information straight from people that are in charge of knowing that information. Like, you know what I mean? It's like when you have the mayor on, like hearing it from him directly is good.
And not filtered through a source first to pick out what they think is important. Right. Yeah. To get to
and I
straight
do
from the mouth.
And
right.
we've talked about this. I do feel like there are some short form because these are fairly long, usually like over an hour or so. I do feel like there are some, even if we do it remote, there are some short form opportunities we have with the mayor, whether it's Galimi or Lanigan or even Tony Paceni or even Joe Griffo on the political space, or even like superintendents and stuff that, hey, there's a lot of rumors out there. Why don't you come in and we're just going to say,
just tell us what it is.
Let's tell it what it is.
We all hear rumors constantly.
Yeah.
Just say what's actually true and what's not. So then you don't have to worry about all the keyboard warriors on Facebook saying, oh, well, this and that. And it's like, just tell us what's happening.
Right. There is some entertainment value to the keyboard warriors. I mean, some of them are pretty good.
I mean,
some of them are very entertaining.
Yeah, it is entertaining.
Some are monotonous, but yeah.
Speaking of that, do you follow the comments at all? Like,
oh, I always read comments.
You always read it?
The comments are way more entertaining than the actual thing.
The actual content.
Yeah. I mean,
all right, Wesley, I'm just gonna stare off in the abyss here. What do you got?
I want to go back to the tips.
All right.
18 to 20% you thought was an average tip these days.
Full service.
Full service. Takeout, what is it?
10, 15.
I mean,
just your
it just depends.
guess. I mean,
see, I'm the type of person, like, do you need to tip when you go do all the work besides actually making it? I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that.
So it should be service based. Is that what I'm kind of getting from the vibe here? Like if you're making the food, that's part of the job. But
are your tips split in the whole house or
our
is it
sandwich makers?
Okay.
But our sandwich makers are also making more than minimum wage.
1551.
No.
Good answer.
Oh, Wes.
Well, there was an employee we hired recently. It's like, what were you getting paid before? And it was like $14. So like, that can't be.
So
It's not in this
I've
state.
had, like, I've talked to, I'm not naming names, but I've talked to people, like I've hired people that have said they were working like head chefs, line cooks, and they were working at this other restaurant and they were making minimum wage. I'm like, how? Like, why?
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Like, that's not what that caliber of person goes for. It's like try not like our prep cooks make.
A lot of times places, I feel like, just maybe more old school places, maybe not, but try to see what they can get away with. If they can get away with paying, people that. But the problem is, if you have any value in the quality of what you're putting out, and having a good workforce and all that, then you have to do it right. You have to understand what they're doing and what's that worth to you, and
Mhm.
make sure they're
Like,
happy, and like,
An
There's some
employee that I
self-worth there,
don't have
too.
any
Yeah.
issues with, I know they're on top of stuff, is worth a lot to me. Like I'm
Mhm.
willing to pay that employee way more
Mhm.
than someone that messes up and screws orders up, and like it's not like a standard like this like it our the way we compensate employees, it's based on the actual employee. It's not what job they're doing. It's not
It's a good way to do it. Right.
Well, and
The more effort you put in, the more you're going to earn,
Yeah.
and the more value you bring to the business. Right. I was say shifting gears, if I may.
it's all you.
I'm going to tie it in with Crust because let's imagine a beautiful Sunday. Crust is closed.
we are.
Frank, what are you doing? What do you do for fun?
on Sundays.
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
Thank you. I appreciate it, everyone. Thank you.
I dabble in
suck.
I've dabbled in some gaming.
Ooh.
Ooh, gaming.
know.
All right.
Wait, whereabouts? Let's break it down a little bit.
Oh,
what kind
like-
of gaming?
Like first person
no,
shooter
Call of
gaming.
No, let's go all in on this.
What?
Deep dive. Oh,
Let's
there's some
You want to
story
talk
here.
about World War
Give your
Heroes?
clan a shout out, Frank.
Oh, you had a clan too?
Oh yeah, Revenge of the Fallen.
Oh, so you're not in Call of Duty or like the Fortnite where I'm at? Then I'm
No,
gonna see you in that
no,
realm?
it's-
Damn.
it's-
All right. I thought we were gonna see you online later, but I guess not.
No, it's World War Heroes. It's a
When
great
you
game.
see the Negotiator
Listen.
527.
You have
That's
to
Frank.
have an outlet.
Right.
You
I
do.
I like to zone out and kill Nazis.
Yeah.
I mean, great
Seems
goal.
admirable.
Solid goal. That's I think
That's our teaser.
So
That's our
teaser.
teaser.
We're gonna
We can
I
do a
don't-
good thumbnail for that one too.
I gotta look at the YouTube algorithms though.
All
I don't
right,
know
see if that one might be-
You think
plays.
You're gonna have to beat me out.
Killing
I'm like,
Nazis is
killing- I mean,
flag.
I don't know. I mean, as long as you
You
don't
think
have the
that's okay.
wrong adjective before that, you could.
Which I
probably get
think I
away with it.
did.
Yeah, I think you're good. I 100% agree. That's why I was really curious. I think you need an outlet, and that's awesome. And so gaming.
Gaming, cooking. I cook at home
Well,
too.
You don't
That's-
get sick of it. You're not like
No.
switching. No.
No, I don't.
What's your favorite meal?
Oh, that's hard.
I mean, this isn't an easy. This is a hot seat for a
You
reason.
Wow. We went to the
I'm-
lightning round
we
there,
went
and
to
you're
lightning.
getting hammered right now, Frank.
What? What were you
You
gonna
like
say?
fish.
I mean,
Don't answer for the guy
I
making.
mean, I do,
sweat.
but it's not like my. Honestly, I like, especially now, either homemade soups or like ramen.
It seems like a lot of
It's
work.
kind of my jam.
Listen, Frank makes really good soups.
Well, that's convenient.
It's
Oh my
it
goodness.
That does work out. That's good.
It is, hey, can you bring some into Crust for this week's special?
is. No, he makes them at Crust. It's like
That's
the
also
one.
convenient.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, this is good.
It's
I mean,
the
this
one
is
thing he like. I mean, he's gotten better. We fight about this a lot
Curious where this
because
is going. The one thing
he
so-
needs to have like recipes. Like when we first opened, Frank would give me recipes because I was like costing everything out,
Mhm.
and it'd be like salt and pepper to taste. I'm like, you can't put to taste in a recipe.
I'm like, it's salt and pepper.
So
Listen, I've gotten a lot better. I've got a lot. I've got a whole everything. We're pretty
He's
much
got a book.
professionals now.
yeah,
I got a recipe book all filled out.
He's got a purple
All my soup
paper
recipes?
notebook that
Yes.
he writes everything down
It's
in.
like the playbook. We
Yes.
got to get our hands.
Yeah, I mean, do you keep that in a safe?
There's
locked
stains
up.
all over it. You can barely read it. So many scribbles.
One page actually has sauce all over it.
You know, there are electronic versions of storing things.
Yes, I have.
uh,
I actually do have it on my laptop.
Frank's a little
now.
more hand on than that.
Well, I mean,
I got a new laptop, so I did actually type up the soup recipes. Thank you very
Oh.
much.
He did.
very nice.
very nice.
All right, and I'll give you the
I
same
haven't
question
printed
on,
them yet,
on
but I
Sundays.
did
For
type
you,
them up.
what do you do on Sundays or your day off from work? Do you bang another day in? Do you guys work 5-6 days? What do you guys usually do?
Just depends.
So when we first opened, we were working 7 days a week,
sure.
and I
10-hour
think
days plus.
like I think the third or fourth Sunday that we were in there prepping and getting ready for the next week, I quickly realized that if we kept working like this, that my wife was going to divorce me.
Mm-hmm.
So we stopped that.
Yep.
So we strictly do not work Sundays. As far as what we do on Sunday, I go grocery shopping,
Yeah.
take care of the dogs. I have a new puppy.
Good.
What's your outlet? Like, what's your like? I need to regroup and just. Is it walking through the grocery store, or is there something more?
I love grocery shopping.
I mean,
Like, it's probably one of my favorite
you're
things to
very
do.
different people.
You know, they have whole services who do that for you now because everyone despises
No,
it.
I like it. It's
wanna pick my
very
own
hands-on
things
for me.
out.
I love grocery shopping.
Plus, I like to get inspired.
Let's give him. Let's give him the. Let's
All
give
right,
him the.
well,
Let's
we
give,
hear the reasoning.
let's give him the time. But also, like, if you had one major grocer in the area, what would-
Wegmans.
it
I'd
is-
love Wegmans to come
okay,
to Rome.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
that would be
fair.
Or
amazing.
Utica. Or any of the
New Hartford.
Do you make it to what
20
trip?
minute.
You make a
Surrounding
DeWitt trip?
metropolitan area.
No,
You don't make a DeWitt trip?
no. But
Oh.
I went to school in Buffalo
I lived in Syracuse.
and I had
too, so,
Wegmans.
yeah.
And I would love for Wegmans to come to the area.
They have-
Syracuse is a little
They have
too
my
far out
favorite
of.
blue cheese.
No.
I feel like if you love it that much, a DeWitt trip, just like dedicating a Sunday for like 3 hours at DeWitt Wegmans would be up your alley. No?
No.
Okay. No.
Terrible idea, Brad.
Terrible. I just bad day. It's
It's a
bad
lot-
podcast
it's just-
for me.
It's
Just
a
not
lot of
feeling- I'm
time
off.
commitment.
Straight
It's
struggle
Taylor.
bus.
It's a small
Like,
batch.
grocery shopping is like an hour and a half tops.
Wes hasn't a grocery shop that long in his entire life.
No, I'm like, okay. I try to do as fast as I can, and I map it out how as efficiently as I can, and I also ride the shopping cart back to my car in the parking lot every time. So you'll see me riding it like a skateboard
Yeah.
I mean, that
to the day.
listen,
every
that
day I do it.
happens.
I'm gonna need to find some security footage. That would be great.
And I try to see how fast I can go. I mean, the winter stinks
You
because of all
can't
the
do
slush.
anything slow. You literally can't. Is there anything?
It's always
you
a
can,
competition with me, just a personal one.
Do you have anything?
But
to,
do you do anything that you just like do it because you enjoy it? And you just leisurely
He
want
enjoys competition.
you leisurely want to
Yes.
just
I would have an
enjoy
obvious
the
joke in
time
there,
you're doing
but
this.
well, Lauren can come on and talk about that later.
I feel like I'm conditioned at this point in my life with many things going on, like you all, that just being as efficient and quick as possible is the most enjoyable. Because then maybe there is a breath or two at the end to take. But yeah, I don't really sit back and smell the roses too often in really anything I do.
So unless you're pointing up to the bar, like that's probably the only thing I could think of that you will just
Some type of social setting
sit.
like that, right?
like.
But nothing therapeutic like going grocery shopping is a therapy for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, also I enjoy golfing,
Mhm.
but you like to run while you
I
golf.
destroyed that
Like that's the
too.
thing.
Right.
He destroys
Yeah.
any activity that could be possibly relaxing and turns it into a competition/speed event. Bowling.
I was gonna say mowing fairways is kind of fun for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like mowing your lawn. Some people find that therapeutic.
Do you throw tunes?
But
in?
even in that, I try to be as efficient
you
as
know-
possible and map out where
You
the
can only-
golfers
you
are
can
and go
only-
over here in that way.
you can
And
only
which way I
floor
can
it
mow
so
it.
much.
But now that
Oh,
you
yeah.
but now that you bring that up, like especially in summertime, we're all sick of winter, but like
Mhm.
I think me and Chris equally enjoy our outdoor activities as far as mowing and whatnot. So between shopping, cooking, and mowing and what, I feel like that kind of takes up our Sundays, but I'm perfectly happy with it.
Are you a dog guy as well? Chris has got what, 2?
I have 2 also.
Give me the names of all the
Did I
dogs.
did I tell you that I have 2 now?
You
Okay.
That didn't come up.
I have a 6-pound Chihuahua named Gemma. She was our first dog. And then we got a Aussie Doodle named Benny, who is a terrorist.
Nazis and
Man,
terrorists in this
again-
podcast.
Again, the algorithms this is gonna be brutal.
He is. I don't know if you know much about Aussie Doodles, but
They're herding dogs.
they're terrorists. I don't know how else to put it. He's a
I feel like I know a
great-
lot about them now.
he's a
The
great
terrorists.
dog, but he requires
Energy.
all of your time. And if you let him out of your sight for like, I don't know, 5 seconds, he's tearing something up.
Sounds like my
Just
2-year-old.
chewing on the end of the steps.
He went
Also
through
sounds
this,
like your 2-year-old.
he went through this puppy phase where he was chewing the metal base to a coffee table that we have. When he has ample amount of toys to chew, that one actually tastes like chicken, but he chose the metal
That's
table
what they
base.
say.
Have you tried it? Have you
No, I
confirmed it?
haven't.
It sounds like a lawsuit.
He has so many toys, and it's like, why are you chewing these things? You can.
What about daycare? Do you ever take it to doggy daycare?
Doggy daycare?
So he's so young, like he's 17 weeks old.
Oh, we're like
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
Never mind. Not
So
again. I'm just gonna shut up.
as soon as we can get him into a vet and get all his
Yeah, I gotcha. I
vaccines.
thought we were talking like
No.
okay.
no,
You should. Your next one, you should just get a Rottweiler.
I am not getting another dog. We went to an event. So we have a bartender, Sherry, who is very involved with a rescue called Rover's Do-Over, and they had an event in Copper City on Saturday. So we brought Benny to the event, and he was always on his best behavior when he's in public. Always. Doesn't bark, doesn't try to bite anyone,
Well, that's good.
just wants you to hold him. When we bring him home, he's like the most work ever.
That's the opposite of my children. They are terrible in public, and they do bite people. So I think you're lucky.
And you have
tell us
another
about
one
your
on
dog.
the way.
Yeah, I got another on the way. We're gonna find a good one yet.
I kind of have the opposite. I've got a 120-pound Rottweiler named Oliver, who's a big baby.
Okay, is that Oliver? That's the one you rode here today? Yeah.
He-
120 pounds.
Well,
What
he
the-
he had to have a
Good
little surgery today because he decided to break his one of his claws off this morning.
120 pounds.
Well, so I also have his sister, and she's maybe
110.
maybe like 70,
Oh,
maybe 65 pounds, I'd say.
Okay.
He's literally half the size of him.
What do you like 120? Like I can't even like.
Is like
that's
a
how
barn
much you
stall
weigh.
for these things or what?
No, it's hilarious.
Is Crust 2.0 going to be pet friendly?
I've had
Plus- 1.0 is pet friendly,
Oh,
dog friendly.
oh.
Don't bring your
no
iguanas. in.
iguanas. Oh, that was funny.
Hey.
Nice.
All right, we got an iguana reference.
That was so
How did
weird.
that happen?
I don't know.
There's the thumbnail.
Did we just become best friends?
Dog friendly.
Going off the rails.
He's
It's going off the rails.
Oliver's
another
still,
nip, or we
Oliver
got-
thinks he's a lap dog though.
Do
I
we
will tell
need
you
a
that much.
refill?
Can we do? Wesley got to get going soon, but I'm going to take one more nip because I got.
Rottweilers
Yeah.
are the
Emily, do you have any?
best family dogs.
Would you cut me off? Do we just become best friends?
Well, that's actually part of the reason why I haven't like people reached out to use this, but I'm like, it does take a lot of work to do it right. Like
Right.
to do multi-camera work, to make sure the audio is picking up like just what you're saying, to make sure the levels, to make sure you're not running crickets by pressing that button by mistake when the Lanny's telling one of the more important parts of the podcast. You know, there are little things that it does take a lot of time to do these,
Yeah.
but you know, maybe that's just part of the vibe. We do have a pitch. We're gonna take this to the golf course. I got my social shooting of great possible reel right now. Look at that. Look at just
I think we should
osmos on point.
Take it to a bar.
So yeah, and you know that is part of the issue because like packing all this stuff up, moving it, we got to go to a bar that will allow us to do it. You know, to have cables and everything and lighting and stuff like that. But
Anytime you want.
oh, Sunday.
No.
By yourself.
Yeah, we'll
If you
just
can
throw it
figure out
over.
how to do it while we're open, go for it.
Can we do it live from the kitchen?
No.
No, we kitchen's not big enough to operate in.
Thank
let
you.
The
alone-
bar though, yeah.
Nice.
I can't.
We could probably pour one.
I
together.
It's not Sunday.
This is
Yeah, who's doing the lunch rush today?
we got a full staff.
Oh wow. That was
That's part of
aggressive.
the.
Oh shit. What was I gonna say?
You can do it live from our bar anytime you want.
All right.
All right.
I guess you don't have to bring the whole. We can do a kind of a.
No, we
budget
can make it.
version,
Yeah, we can do a budget version.
You know,
That's-
that might be fun.
Because really, you just need only 1 or 2 camera angles, and there's enough light in there.
You wear your GoPro helmet.
Do you have a GoPro helmet?
I have GoPros.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very awkward
Have
to
you
have a
fashioned it
conversation
into a
with a
helmet?
GoPro. But we are the next remote one we're doing. We're just chit chatting. We'll see what it makes it. But we're gonna take Jeff Lanigan, Tony Pisani out on the golf course. We're gonna do 9 holes. We're gonna have car cams.
Like Wes's 9 holes, or like
I'm gonna go ahead of
a
them.
normal person.
I'm gonna go
who's
ahead of
9
him and be done.
he hasn't taken a cart since
Speed
09,
golf?
but he's gonna. But we're karting.
I know you're great at speed golf. Still don't know what speed golf is.
It's like golf, but you're running.
Just
Oh,
a few clubs.
literally.
He plays
Yeah.
18.
So it's your
Oh.
time plus your score. It's completely
Huh.
miserable.
He plays
Yeah.
18 in like 40 to 45 minutes, 4 hours, normal 18
Huh.
ish, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. So it's like just short of 5 miles, and so you just play golf as seriously like you hit.
I
And then
literally-
you sprint to the next
Tell,
shot.
just
tell
hit it,
Frank what you
sprint.
like your that training day you do. Like
oh,
I did do a really. I had a weird thought. I don't know why it popped in my mind. I think I was trying to fall asleep, and you get those kind of weird ass thoughts.
Yeah.
So I was
Where a
thinking,
lot of my sandwiches come from.
Okay, good. Like the Lizzie Glizzy. Or
No,
no,
that was him.
that was me.
that was a different type dream you had. So I had this thought
her name was Cindy.
to play Tujiga, Sleepy Hollow, and Rome, and speed golf them all back to back to back.
Why not?
Because they're like,
'Cause
about
that's
5 miles each, like 15 miles. And I thought I should run from each spot to the next one, just do it continuously. So one Wednesday morning, I started at
in
Tujiga
case
at
anyone is
7:30.
wondering. None of those places are close to each other.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so 7:30 went out and played, and the staff at Tujiga was kind of like, "Who's this idiot?" But played there, and I just running it off. I just took one club because I figured that was enough fun. So I shot like 84 or something with a 6-iron, and then I just ran off of 18 green right to Golf Course Road, and then just ran down the street to Sleepy Hollow, which was a really cool look, running with a golf club in your hand down the street. Doesn't look deranged at all.
Surprised you didn't get pulled over.
Then I played Sleepy Hollow, and then just kept running right off of 18 green, right down, and then ran down Link Road and over to Rome Country Club and ran that.
I
which
just
is-
want to point out that he did all that and shot an 84 with one club. I can't shoot an 84 to save my life.
But to be fair, he's actually a really good instructor. He doesn't really, at RCC, you'd rather be behind the bar, I think. But you could break I think you could do.
That
So
might be
your
our spin-off
brother-
show, getting Chris to
know.
break
So
a
I
certain
took
number.
lessons from your brother when I was
Mhm.
young. I think if I looked, he's still in my phone as asshole golf instructor.
That's hilarious.
I hope Josh. We gotta send this to Josh.
So you enjoyed it a lot?
I did. No, it was great.
Did you do more than one?
Yeah, I did a bunch.
Even though you didn't enjoy it?
No, I did enjoy it.
Well, I'm so confused by the name then.
I think he said to put him in as asshole golf instructor.
Okay.
That makes more
Oh,
sense.
Okay.
That sounds like Josh, yeah.
I enjoyed
I didn't
it.
know how
Yeah.
we were gonna get to asshole there.
I sunk like a 60-foot putt in front of him. It was great.
Did you guys do like a flying chest bump or anything?
There was a lot of high fiving.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Like when we said iguanas?
Yeah.
Was it that exciting?
that was
Yeah,
pretty-
It was. I mean, you sink a 60-foot putt. It's
That is.
What else you got going
so.
on?
Again, I watch every single one of your podcasts. A little hurt that the mayor decided to say that the beaches was his favorite place to have lunch.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that. Okay. All right. I mean, to be fair,
Little
he's-
hurt.
At least you picked something in Rome. You didn't really whiff on
I
that
mean,
one.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's true.
It's just great
We
spot.
can't-
And I
Well,
love the beaches.
You can't be everybody's favorite, Chris.
I was the first wedding at the new beaches. So
Well,
And they were kind of sweating getting it ready for you, right? I mean,
They
it was
were.
a little.
but I was gonna say he might have a PR move there because they're building probably $100 million worth
Right.
oh yeah,
of stuff there.
I understand.
You're still hurt.
Still hurt.
You
Probably
can't
just-
be
We
hurt.
probably should just cut this whole entire part out now.
Oh no.
Oh no,
This-
leave the part
this-
in where I said I was hurt.
Then he said his favorite newspaper.
You know what I would love to see? Have you ever seen Drunk History?
Yes.
No.
That's great.
You've
Help me.
never
You
seen
never seen Drunk History? That's
What?
great.
What? why is this about me?
These
This is about them.
They get drunk on.
They get drunk and tell history.
Do you
tell
believe it?
history
Do you
is
think
there.
it's real?
I do.
I
You
kind of
don't
buy
think-
it too.
I mean,
you don't
unless-
think they're drunk telling
Well,
the story?
everything you see like on social media, everything I say, oh, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake.
I
I'm a very
mean,
skeptical guy on those
I suppose
videos.
it
Like,
could
why do they
be,
have a
but-
camera? But that thing I kind of believe is real.
They are very
Unless they're just great
authentic.
actors.
I was
Dude,
gonna
I
say,
think that they're like reading a script of like what they're actually saying. Yes,
But they do seem.
but I
bombed.
think they're drunk.
Yeah.
I've seen versions of podcasts where they just get blitzed.
I think
and
you
go
guys should do
off,
a
but-
drunk
Oh, oh boy.
version of a podcast
Winery
at Crust.
or there.
I'll
there.
cover the booze.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that sounds inviting.
that's very inviting. Who's gonna?
what history do we want?
No, I think the thing is like because usually when I go to Crust, which is why it's so popular. I mean, I'll run into, mayors there, previous mayors there. We'll have all kinds of business owners there. I mean, it's like at some point we at least like maybe
Is there
know
a
us.
Crust anniversary dates or something that we could
Ooh.
tie this into? Is that a thing? Or
Ooh.
you guys don't do
September.
holidays or anything?
September.
September's our anniversary.
Oh.
And we usually do the golf tournament the week. So we do our
Mhm.
golf tournament the week of the 21st.
Well, because that's a busy because we got the chamber is usually in there somewhere, or is that August?
Chamber
No.
Golf, It's second week of August.
Second week
Yeah.
of August. Okay, we can figure this out.
Or we can just do it randomly. I was just thinking in case it was coming up, and that would have
Yeah.
been fun.
I'm always
That's
looking for
fine.
ideas, but I mean, like it. The one thing that I've heard from people is like they actually like that it's just a conversation, like clearly not scripted,
No,
clearly not scripted.
We proved it
We've
today.
proved this many times.
we've gone
Um,
from killing Nazis.
Garrett is again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this work. I'm going to have to be bleeping. I would
great.
love, and I think that's where, and I think I might have mentioned this on a previous podcast, and maybe Chris would know because he's an avid listener. I miss the 40s, 50s ad men, like the way that they operated and how advertising. They would literally sit in a room with sketches.
You
and
missed the martini lunch.
I did. I mean, other than going to a very popular Utica lunch with Barry and Tom Sennett, and
so
getting
I was gonna say that.
that-
We used
that's
to go to
probably
Savoy a lot. Yeah.
that's probably the only martini lunch.
So, Tom,
Mhm.
again, this way has been closed, so I don't know. I'm sure they're keeping it alive. Tom is the last holdout of the martini lunch.
Mm.
Like he keeps it going, and his lunches.
Can we revive that? Should we create a Rome version?
I think you
I think
should.
we should.
I think we need to.
It'd be great.
Some people think like you're a restaurant, you don't want other restaurants in Rome. That's not us. Like I think we are the biggest proponents of like variety. Like we want more restaurants to come to Rome. Because one, I want to eat different things.
Yeah, you can only. Yeah.
I
And
want ramen to open up
yeah,
across the street.
I'm not concerned about like losing business to a different restaurant. I just want Rome to have like food options because I want Rome to have people come and live here because it's such a great place to live. And like there was going to be a ramen place that was going to move across the street from us, and they came in and they were like, we want to open this place and whatever, and they brought us food because they're like they wanted to ask us questions and everything, and I'm like, listen, you can bring me as much food as you want. It's a great place to be. You should be here. And am I kind of worried that they're going to take up some of the parking? Yes. Because parking is an issue at Crust. I know. But like having the variety is what you need.
We said
because-
I'd be over there getting lunch all the time.
And I told them, I'm like,
I think-
we'll probably be your biggest customers. I mean, I've lived in Rome, I've lived in Buffalo, I've lived in Italy, I've traveled the world. Like Rome is the only place I've ever wanted to come back to. It's a great place to live. I mean, we have a lake, we have a ski hill, we have everything you could want. I mean, do we need
The things that you don't want.
do we
Traffic we don't have.
we
you
don't
know?
have traffic.
Yeah.
Like
There's
my
some
commute,
things that you take for
my
granted.
commute
True.
to work
know?
is 6 minutes.
Hey, it took me 2 more extra minutes today. I'm
right.
pissed.
And at the worst time, it takes you 6.5 minutes.
Yes.
Right.
Because I hit the light at
Right.
Chestnut and Black River.
That's true, because I remember when I lived in Syracuse.
What was that?
Hello.
Yeah.
I remember when I lived in Syracuse, I was like, to go grocery shopping, it was a 40-minute drive,
Yeah.
but that was normal because it's a big
Well,
city. To get to Wegmans, I had to drive
Yeah.
40 minutes.
I
you know?
love this section because I think this is something that we can repurpose for multiple reasons. But when we talk to like Mike Haydick on the business park, like people actually they like coming here. And I think that some of the reasons why is like you have to get out to come back, and people will bitch and moan about being here, but you haven't been exposed to the advantages that we have. Like Chris said, I mean, you can ski, you can go on a lake, you can go to multiple golf courses, and they're all within a 10-15 minute drive.
So that's kind of going to my Oneida County tourism hat. Our biggest concern has always been like when someone comes here from out of town and they stay at a hotel and they ask the person at the front desk, like, what can you do? And our biggest fear is that person says, oh, there's nothing to do here.
Right. The classic poo-poo in your
Yeah.
hometown vibe, which
And
every
it's like,
hometown
so
across the world faces, right?
we're kind of going
never
through like
cool.
this whole
Yeah.
strategy of how do we inform the people that are here and working here and introducing like the ones that talk to the people that come from out of town and help them learn of all the things that are happening. Like that's kind of our biggest goal right now is how do we educate people that live here of all of things that are going on, because there's so many things going on. And like I hope you bring Sarah back on so she can like bring this back up about how many things that are going on, because there's so many things going on in this county and people don't understand like there are things happening here. And if you aren't satisfied, it's because you're not looking for something to do.
I think it is up to us to sell it better, though. You know, I really
I
do. Because
agree.
if you're coming from out of town, you don't know that there's an AHL team. You don't know that there might be a soccer team to do. You know, you might not know that if you drive 20 minutes north, you get a small ski hill that you can at least have, and they put a ton of money into that.
Mhm.
So I think that it is up to us, and that's between the Oneida County Tourism, that's between the chambers, that's between the What's Up app that we're trying to work with and to grow that. It's working with the schools. I think we suck at selling ourselves sometimes, and I think that's where when you have a lot to offer, we got to sell the shit out of it, and we got to do a better job of that. So, I like that. We'll bring Sarah on, and we'll work on a commercial. I'm gonna continue drinking while Wes has to go pick up his kids, and we'll chit chat behind the cameras. But I appreciate you guys coming back on and also bringing alcohol. We don't have many guests that bring in that.
I know it.
We always supply.
Make this a thing.
You know, this is
Tradition.
This is tradition.
I mean,
Next time
I'll
we'll have to
always
bring
bring
sandwiches
alcohol.
next time too.
yeah, I was a
no,
little-
because every time we bring
Brad
sandwiches,
skipped lunch.
Brad eats, but Wes never
I
tries it.
know. I get my oh my god moment because it is delicious, but then I'm the only one eating
Listen.
in front of the camera. It's
No.
like this
We'll just bring Wes like a turkey sandwich, and then we'll bring Brad a dirty bird.
Oh, I gotta plug one more thing.
okay, sure.
So we do. We started this thing with the Rome City School District. It's a
Oh, yeah.
fundraiser.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We're doing every month. We've picked.
We're on our third.
We're on our third. Every elementary school gets these sheets they fill out. They basically the 5th and 6th graders create a sandwich. We make the sandwich, and we pick one of them. We make a sandwich, and we sell it. For every sandwich we sell, we donate $1 to their school. And
That's awesome.
It's been great so far. It's fun looking at all of like the sandwiches that they come up with,
We do have to do a little adjusting just to make sure it's.
But
Yeah,
sometimes
so
palatable. You know.
sometimes we
That's not balancing.
I
we
do-
pick one and then we adjust it just a little bit so it like
that can be fun though. I feel like people that know nothing, you can get these like, oh, I never
Do the kids
thought.
name the sandwich?
They
too?
do.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
We
So you
got
have
some-
to stick with their name.
Can we maybe there's a way
so
we
far.
can partner with that too? I would love to partner with that because we work with the schools on them. They draw the weather. If you look at the front page of the Sentinel, it has like the hand drawn. We work with the schools and they submit that. So I think it would be fun to just integrate some of that more into show. Like,
I've found working with like kids is like the most fun thing ever because the things they come up with is so entertaining.
Sure.
Like just
that kid last month's that
the Dominator.
He had a whole entire write up. He sold that sandwich to us with all of his heart. Just
Like we had a couple sandwiches. So last month was Ridge Mills. My wife works at Ridge Mills. She's a 5th grade teacher. There was a few sandwiches that were like, these would be great. We'll sell a ton of them. But this one kid that actually happened to be in her class came up with a sandwich. We tried it, but he also like wrote the description for it.
oh, that's fun.
And it was so funny. I'm like, how do we not pick this?
It was right up my alley. I
Well,
can't remember the actual
Let's
thing. But it was-
well, we'll wrap it up, but I let's partner on something like that because there might be a way for us to promote that because I love promoting the schools and the kids and getting them involved. So
Yeah,
we got a lot of work on.
we do.
And maybe
have to
next
go
time
back and
we'll have
rewatch
way
it to
more
remember
information
it
on the
all.
Utica crust. But till then,
It's gonna
hey,
happen.
cheers,
It's
guys.
just
Hey, you know,
when it
Brad
happens.
walked the line.
I walked the line. Cheers, guys.
Still got a splash.
We'll make
Oh,
it.
a little bit.
Frank,
Cheers,
thanks
sir.
for coming on.